We're going to go through dough stretching today, and I want to go quickly. I have this rolling pin here, but we're not going to use it unless Kevin gets out of line.
New Haven style pizza. Come and take a seat. A pizza, it's time to eat.
Welcome back, episode 42 of Charred New Haven Pizza Show. It's Kevin Begley, Frank Zabsky. As you can see, our props right here on the table. It is another demo episode. We're going to talk about dough stretching, Frank.
Today's demo day, baby.
Demo day. Obviously, if you're not familiar, maybe you just tuned into Charred recently. Frank owns New Haven Pizza School, teaches classes there on how to make New Haven style pizza. I am a grad of New Haven Pizza School.
You're a celebrity grad.
One of the originals. I was one of the original students, I think.
You are actually, I think.
I got my shirt on and everything. Look at this.
And who would have thought that me being in your kitchen for 3.5 hours would have led to all the craziness that
Right, it led to the podcast, to the Pizza Fest, all of it. So let's get into it. You brought all the props here. We're going to learn how to. Would you say this is one of the most important parts of making New Haven style pizza? Is the actual dough stretching?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most important parts, and it's one that people kind of get stressed out the most. But it's actually really simple.
Yeah.
People try to overcomplicate it, and what I want to try to do today is just simply go over how to do it.
Right, because you're right. Like they get so excited to make the pizza, and then it's like, I can't get this dough. It's too cold, or it's not stretching, or whatever it is.
Right. So the bigger thing is that in order to get a good stretch, you have to have a good dough.
Right.
And so we've actually done an episode on Charred about making the dough.
Yeah.
Or making the dough. And I also have a YouTube channel called Pizza Gavones, and I have a lot of videos on there on how to make it. But either the Charred video from our YouTube channel or Pizza Gavones, both of them are great. But you got to start with a good dough.
Right.
A lot of people will ask me, Frank, how do I stretch a dough that I bought at the grocery store? How do I stretch a dough I bought at a pizzeria? And it gets a little bit more challenging, and that's kind of where the people have a little bit of difficulty, because a lot of the store dough, and not that it's not good, but it's on the older side.
Yep.
The older the dough gets, the more it shrinks and shrivels and gets tight.
And especially if it's frozen. A lot of the doughs at the grocery store, they're frozen, and it's hard to thaw it out and get it really to that room temperature.
And there's nothing wrong with buying pizza dough from a pizzeria, but the trick is that you have to use it almost as soon as you buy it.
Yeah.
Because the pizzerias, without getting too technical, they take out doughs from their refrigerator and they have them room temperature rise, which we're going to go over. But bottom line is, when you buy dough from a pizzeria, it's ready to be made.
Right. So if you're making it that night or that weekend or whatever it is. Now, a pizzeria, a lot of people don't realize, most pizzerias will sell you dough.
Oh, yeah.
If you ask them, even if they don't necessarily advertise it.
Yeah, I know Arsenio from New Haven Pizza Place, he said a lot of people buy dough from him, which is great, and I think a lot of other places are the same thing.
Yeah.
But again, the key is wherever you buy it from, if you don't want to make it, if you're going to make pizza at Saturday at 5 o'clock, buy the dough, go to the pizzeria like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Get the dough, bring it home, let it sit out, and then it's much easier stretching it.
So that's the advantage to buying it from a pizza place, is because if, let's say it was spur of the moment, like, hey, let's make pizza tonight, but you didn't make the dough 3 days ago, you know?
Right. I'd much rather see you support your local pizzeria and the dough as opposed to buying it. And not there's anything wrong with big grocery stores.
Right.
But it's just a different thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to go through dough stretching today, and I want to go quickly. I have this rolling pin here, but we're not going to use it unless Kevin gets out of line. True New Haven pizza, and I'm not saying that anyone's bad if they use a rolling pin, but generally speaking, you don't use a rolling pin for New Haven style.
It's all hands.
It's all hands. Not that you can't, but you shouldn't. And Frank Pepe will roll over in his grave.
Save that for the cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Cookie
dough. So dough stretching, we're going to go through really quickly. The first thing you need is a wooden peel, because when you stretch it, you want to put it on something. I highly recommend a wooden peel. I don't recommend a steel peel to launch on. If you were doing Neapolitan pizza, they generally only use a steel peel with perforations on the bottom. We're not going to get into that. But steel peel, home users should get an 18-inch peel, which is what this is, and this is a short tail. So wooden peel, nice and clean, nice and dry. Another mistake people make is they'll use the same peel to launch and retrieve. No bueno.
Oh,
yeah, no good. Because what happens is the oil and the toppings and all the sauce get impregnated into the peel, and then it makes it hard to launch.
So you want a different one to turn it and take it out of the oven.
Right.
Yeah.
And stupid me, I didn't bring the metal one.
That's right. People will get it.
Yeah. But obviously this is pretty thick. You can see how thick this is. And a metal one is just kind of like a blade, like a spatula, and it's just much easier.
And this is where you put the dough when you're going to top it, right? Yeah,
Correct.
When you're going to put the toppings on. Yeah.
Right. So let's kind of get into this here. This here I call my Greek pizza pan for all my Greek buddies, friends out there that can only make a pizza in a round pre-formatted pizza pan. I'm half joking. I've actually had a bunch of people, Greek pizzeria owners, come to my class because they want to start doing New Haven pizza.
Oh, really?
Place. Yeah. And
Oh,
I tell the Greek jokes there, and they just laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because half of it's true.
So for the Greek pizza, they just put the dough in one of these pans and cook it in the oven in the pan?
Yeah, so I say they use this because they can't stretch around pizza.
Right.
So they need to stretch it out in the pan.
Yeah. That's funny.
But anyways, this is just a pizza pan, and this here has a flange. This is called the flange. And really what I use this for is to put the flour in here. So this is called bench flour. Now, this is the same flour. This is bread flour.
Okay.
It's the same flour that I use to make the dough with.
Right.
So the flour in here should match the flour that you make the dough with.
Right. You don't want to use all-purpose here and use bread flour in here, or
Yeah, you could get away with all-purpose or any other flour because all you're really doing is using it to keep your hands dry.
True.
And that's sticky. But ideally, you want to use bread flour, same flour used here in here.
great.
And what this does is this keeps the flange of the pan, this is the flange, keeps the flour in here so that it doesn't create a mess.
Yeah.
And then when you're done using this, you just basically take this, you open up your trash can or trash barrel, and you just put it in. It's much easier to clean.
Perfect.
Clean up. So anyways, that's the deal. This is a room temperature risen dough. So this dough was made probably 3-4 days ago. And right now what I did is I took this out of the refrigerator 2 or 3 hours before I knew we were coming here.
Okay. So that, and you always say like 3 days is almost the sweet spot. So if you're going to make pizza on a Saturday, if you make the dough on Thursday, that's usually the best. Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. So you want 3 full days before the day you have the pizza.
Right. That's kind of like the sweet spot. Can you make it in 2 days or 1 day? You could, but 3 days is going to give you the best flavor.
Great.
But going back to the dough, as a new pizza maker, your best friend is a room temperature dough because it allows you to stretch it really easily. And a cold dough is going to it's going to be tight and elasticy.
I've tried the cold dough. Oh, it's tough. Yeah.
It is tough. And that's why it's hard even to do the store-bought dough because a lot of it, like you said, is frozen and
Or refrigerated, right.
It just gives you, it just makes things more difficult. And life's hard enough. Why make it difficult
Right.
doing this? So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take this container that I have, and this is for another class, but or another episode. This is a lubricated container. So when you make dough, you want to make sure that you have lubrication in the container.
Yep.
So we're going to basically take this and dump it over into our flour dredge, which is what this is. Now what's going to happen is this isn't going to come out. And it's not stuck because I didn't lubricate it, but it's suction. So you basically take this and you give it a couple whacks like this. Come on.
There it goes. I see it going.
There we go.
There it comes.
So she finally comes out.
Now, here's where I think people start to get confused. So once the dough's in the flour, what's next? What's the proper way to actually start it?
Yeah, so good question. What I see almost immediately with some of my people in my class is they'll forget everything I said, which basically is to take the flour in your hands and pretend like you're washing your hands with the flour.
Yep.
And they'll start going like
Just
this.
immediately, yeah.
Right. So now they have dry hands with oil on them, and they have a really wet dough, and and they literally pick the dough up like this because it's
all
stuck to their
sticky.
hand.
Yep.
So first thing you want to do is you want to get some flour and wash your hands with flour. Now put some flour on the dough. I just by what's the word I'm trying to use? I do this by habit. You don't have to turn it over.
Oh,
You could
okay.
just flour it like that.
Right, but I feel like turning it over. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I flip it. I mean, once I put the flour in my hands, I flip it over. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just a habit thing.
Yeah, it's strictly habit, because really theoretically, what I tell people is when you're washing your hands with flour, you do it over the dough, and you do, you flour the dough at the same time.
Here's where I get confused sometimes. So I remember you had said, like, go down the middle with your fingertips. Is that still the way you do it, or do you, like, what do you go from here?
So where I go from here, and I'm actually going to start it and you're going to finish it, is, again, this is New Haven style pizza. So New Haven style pizza traditionally does not have a crust.
Right.
So New York style pizza, everyone's had New York style pizza. It's got a predominant crust on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's got a valley and a bunch of mozzarella. It's very specific, very, if you do a cross section, it looks like this and goes like that.
And when they make New York style, they specifically make the crust, right?
100% correct.
When they're stretching the dough.
Yeah, so New Haven style traditionally doesn't have any thickness of crust.
It's just flat to the edge.
Right.
Like an infinity pool.
100%. Right. That neither one of us have.
Right. Infinity pizza.
So in theory, when you stretch a New Haven dough, if you put a pin in the middle of the pizza and then you go around the circumference of the pizza, the height is going to be exactly the same.
Got it.
Theoretically. So what I tell people in class is take your hand with this dough and do a karate chop down the middle, which is like this. Using, kind of the meat of your palm of your hand. And the reason why I tell people to do that is just because it establishes the center line of the dough.
Yeah.
It makes it so that you have some kind of way of looking at it a little bit differently.
Nice.
Tips of your fingers, pads of your fingers, you want to use the pads of your fingers. And you start off the dough. So again, I'm just going to do one thing and then I'm going to give this to you.
All right.
But we're going to start with our fingers off the dough here, and we're going to press down.
Right, so it almost blends that center line in anyway, so
Bingo.
It's not completely separated.
Right. And you can see kind of the peaks and valleys in this dough of just my hand. So I'm not going like this. I'm not going like this. I'm pressing straight down.
That was the mistake I used to always make, is I would immediately start to like stretch it to the sides.
Yeah, I saw you doing that.
And then it would come back in.
So press down and then out the circumference of the pizza. Again, the same thing as we're not stretching this. We're just pressing down.
Okay.
So here, like this. Now I'm going to give this to you.
All right.
And I want you to...
Let's go. Let me wash my hands with flour.
Yep. Start in the middle, go down, and then go around the edges.
All right. So I'm going... Oh, sorry.
Start off here. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
And I'm just going all around it?
Well, yeah, you're pressing straight down.
Straight down.
There you
Straight
go.
down.
Yep.
All right.
Give me more of your flat. I want a flat hand. There you go.
Like
Yep.
that. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you're right. Like with this dough that has been rested for 3 days, if you do it the right way, it's no effort at all.
It isn't.
Like it just look how it immediately stretches out just by touching it so lightly.
Make sure you get your fingers.
Oh yeah, so you want the edges flat, right?
flat
For New Haven
Exactly,
style.
yep. You're pretty good at this, Kevin.
There we go. Now,
I mean-
do you use your palm, the bottom of your palms at all, or do you just use your fingers?
I have seen people use the palms of your hands, and there's really nothing wrong with it. But traditionally, it's this.
Now, I've also
Straight
seen the
down.
technique, maybe this is just the radio DJ in me, the turntable technique, where they're just like going
yeah.
like that and stretching it out. Or now, here's the next question that I think everyone has, especially if they haven't taken your class before. When do you pick it up? And do you do the traditional toss into the air? Or is that just for the
Yeah.
Is that just for the movies?
The toss is no bueno. If you toss a New Haven style dough, which is high hydration, means it has a lot of water in it, more than likely the dough is going to go right through your hands
Yeah.
with 68, 70% hydration. But what was your other question? I forgot.
Well, one thing, real quick.
Oh, when you know you're done.
Yeah, when you know you're done. And also, look how this is the size of the pan already.
Yeah.
I didn't have to stretch at all. So sometimes when I make dough at home, I don't know, maybe you know like what went wrong, but I do feel like I do have to stretch it at points. Is that because it's too cold still? Or is it because I didn't let it rise enough? Like
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you might have maybe miscalculated. I'm not saying
Some
you
of the
did.
ingredients.
The water.
The water.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the water is critical to
So-
get that percentage.
So to get is it more water is better, or you just want to get it right at the exact measurement?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to get it at the exact measurement. You want to get it at the exact percentage of water.
Right.
And I think I went over that in the other video.
the other episode.
But
look at this.
Yeah, so fantastic. I give you A+, to be honest with you.
This is all just from touching.
No, I'm going to give you an A, not a plus. Because you got too many fingers.
Too much fingertips.
You got to go more flat.
Okay, like that.
Right.
Like that.
So you can make 3 different pizzas very different from the same dough. And it all has to do with how thin you stretch it. Mm-hmm. Some people like paper thin, like Bar and Sally's. And then, a Pepe's pie, and it's called the crumb, the air bubbles and pockets in the middle.
Yeah.
They have a little bit more body. But the point being is we could have taken that dough and I could have made 3 separate, very different pizzas. One really thick, one kind of medium, and one paper thin.
And that's all just based on how you stretch it out. So if you wanted the Pepe's style or like a little bit of a thicker crust, you just wouldn't stretch it as far?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that comes with time, and that comes with just making a bunch of pizzas, and it's all personal preference.
Now, do these, like where I've hit with the fingertips, I can see here, is this what creates the bubbles in the crust, the air bubbles?
No, the bubbles are in the crust from when the yeast eats the sugar, it creates carbon dioxide.
Ah, okay.
So those are called gas bubbles. And traditional New Haven doesn't have a lot of bubbles. Like Zupardi's, I know, is known for their bubbles, and there's nothing wrong with the bubbles, but that's just all. So when we're doing this, again, this is called the bench stretch. Mm-hmm. This is called degassing. So you're pressing the dough down.
So you're doing the opposite. You're getting rid of the bubbles.
Bingo.
Do places who have bubbles like Zupardi's or anywhere that like almost like it's their style, do they do it a certain way to make sure that their bubbles are there? Or is it just a natural occurrence in their dough?
Yeah, it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
They also probably use a little bit more yeast.
Okay.
So the yeast creates more air pockets and more bubbles. And so, that's kind of their thing. When I was a kid, I used to love.
Oh yeah, the kids love them because they're like, yeah, I want the bubble. It's almost like when you have birthday cake and they want the flour.
Oh yeah,
like, can I have the slice with the bubble?
You gotta have the flour. Yeah. I was a flour kid, definitely, because I like the flour because it had
it's more frosting.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly. More sugar to get the kids amped up.
Yeah, exactly, like they need it. So, anyways, you did a really good job.
Thank you.
So. Now we have to transfer this dough from here to the wooden peel. Very, very important that you want to make sure that you have semolina flour. Kevin, do I have
no, you're good.
Okay. So this is fine grind semolina flour. The reason why I say fine grind is because you could buy 3 grinds. Now, semolina flour, for those that don't know, is flour that you make pasta with. There's 3 grinds: coarse, medium, and fine. You want fine grind.
Okay.
These are basically the ball bearings. And you basically take this and you sprinkle it around the peel. I basically do like a pinwheel around the peel, like so.
So this is where some people make the mistake of using flour on the peel, which can burn, right? That's what you don't want to use.
Yeah, I would be less worried about it burning and more worried about the fact that it really has no rolling ability.
It gives no movement.
Right. So what we've done here in essence is we've put a bunch of ball bearings on this wooden peel. Okay? So this here is a wet napkin. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put a wet napkin on something that is just doesn't have any way to move it back and forth.
Yeah.
So to get it from here to here, what I do is I put a little flour in the back of my hand. I turn it over like this. I shake it off. So I want to shake some of that excess flour that I don't want on the pizza peel. And I put it on the peel like so.
Look at that. Look at that thing.
And that's it's a very good stretch, and I did a pretty good job getting it on the wooden peel.
It's a nice.
It's a nice. I like it here, baby. Come on now, give me some skin on that dog.
Look how big that. I'm shocked at how just that dough that came out of there, how far it stretched out. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, so in all fairness, the doughs that I do in my class are 300-gram dough balls. I call them schmediums. This was a large dough ball. So this was 400. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's a little bit bigger, but still, I mean, it makes a huge pie.
Right. And the trick to this here is once you get this on the peel, you want to go like this.
Give it a jiggle.
And this is called the shake and bake.
Shake and bake. I like it.
She ain't shaking. She ain't going to be baking.
Now, if you're making a pizza, obviously you would have put your sauce and your toppings on already. And that's another thing to be cautious of, because you don't want to put too much stuff on it, because then it's not gonna roll out. It's not gonna go on the ball bearings. Good enough.
Yeah, so I'm going to set that up for another
episode. The
Right.
toppings.
I just want to stick with the dough right now.
All right.
But Kevin, you're 100% correct. I just want to get people into being able to get to here. Again, the dough recipe that I used to make this is on our channel,
Yep.
Charred New Haven. So look back for a previous episode. And we're just going to kind of keep doing these small little demos and getting people going.
Awesome. So let's recap real quick. So once you've made your dough, if you're making it, 3 days, put it in the refrigerator. 3
Yep.
days.
Refrigerator 3 days.
And then the day that you're going to make the pizza, take it out 3 to 4 hours ahead of time.
2 to tray.
2 to tree.
Yeah, tray.
2 to tree. Take it out. Let it sit in room temperature.
One just little stipulation. You got to use your head.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's July or August and the humidity is 75 degrees, you probably need an hour.
Okay.
March, you need 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. So it depends on the air,
Right.
time of year.
Humidity.
So you bring it out, and then you just go through what we went through in the video, stretching it out with your fingertips, make that line in the middle.
Yep.
And just very softly, and then get it on with the semolina flour onto your peel.
Yeah. Again, try not to finger it like this.
Right.
You want to get your hand on it like this here, and you want to make sure that you go all around the dough, the edge of the circumference of the dough, so that you don't have a predominant New York crust.
And I'm telling you that it's so easily spread out just by doing your fingertips, and you don't need the movie toss.
No.
And you don't need any of that. It's just it just does it on its own if you make the dough right.
Yeah, if you have the right dough recipe at the right hydration and you refrigerate it correctly and take it out in the right amount of time, this is actually easy.
Are you gonna take this home and throw it in the oven?
Absolutely not. You can take it home. I don't want to see any pizza. I had 4 classes in 9 days. I'm done.
Right, yeah, you're pizza out. All right, perfect. Well, that does it for this demo episode. Now you know how to stretch a New Haven style dough. And coming up sometime in the future, we'll do a toppings episode, and we'll do the next few steps in the series of making New Haven style pizza. But there you go. That's how you stretch it out. That's a beauty right there.
You did a good job.
All right, we'll see you next time. I'm Kevin Begley, Frank Zapsky. Remember, it's not burnt.
It's charred, baby.
New Haven style pizza. Come and take a seat. A beats, it's time to